Good morning, class. This is to prepare you in this forthcoming preliminary examination. I'm sorry because I stutter o bulol ako. So the learning objectives goes this way. That at the end of this review, that you learners will be able to differentiate 5 teaching philosophies used in teaching or in used by education in pedagogical teachings. So the first one is that learners will be able to differentiate 5 teaching philosophies. So there are 5 philosophies that learners will be able to define 4 human intelligence quotients. This should have S at the end. Not only quotient. Sorry. And that learners will be able to identify 5 basic social institutions. So that is the coverage of our topic. Now, let us proceed to our topic. The content, knowledge of this presentation. So it goes this way. We proceed now to 5 pedagogical approach in philosophy. 5 pedagogical philosophies. They are essentialism, behavioralism, progressivism, and perennialism, and existentialism. Let us first discuss the second pedagogical philosophy, which is behavioralism. What is this word means? Or mean? What is meant by behavioralism as part of pedagogical philosophies? The behavioral pedagogy or behaviorism is a teaching method that focuses on observable student behaviors and how to change them through reinforcement and punishment. It is a branch of psychology that is based on the idea that people learn through conditionings. And behaviorism is how does behavioral pedagogy works. And it identifies desired behavior. Teacher explains what behavior and acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Reinforcement, desired behaviors. Teachers provide reinforcement, such as praise, to encourage good behavior. And punishment of undesirable behavior. Teachers provide positive or negative reinforcement, such as consequences to discourage inappropriate behavior. And teachers must be consistent. Teachers consistently assess and react both desirable and undesirable behaviors. And the benefits of behavioral pedagogy, it can help students adapt positive behaviors and discourage negative behaviors. It can also help students to develop essential skills and behaviors that contribute to their academic and social success. And some criticism of behavioral pedagogy or disadvantage, according to their own opinion, some others pose up these opinions, that it may disregard students' identity and individuality. It may focus too much on external behaviors and overlook internal cognitive process of every student. And what is the behavioral teachings of what is the behavioral teaching pedagogy? Pedagogy is a method used and the strategy of teachings. That is the heart of teachings. How skillful you are in posing questions to your students, and how will you lead the curriculum learning to the class environment. So the behaviorist pedagogy or behaviorism, it looks at the observational actions of students and assess whether they are learning as effectively as possible. The central belief of the behaviorist is that students learn through enforcement or reinforcement, constant feedback that tells them whether what they are doing is right or wrong. Let's proceed to the next philosophy, pedagogical philosophy. Pedagogical philosophies. Essentialism. Essentialism is a teacher-centered educational philosophy that focus on teaching students core academic skills and values. It is based on the idea that students should master basic skills and knowledge before moving on to more advanced topic. The student must master letter R, 4 R's, like reading, writing, arithmetic, and right conduct, that will gear them towards further development. They must master these 4 R's. That is essentialism. Essentialism asserts the common and as essential ideas and skills belonging to a certain culture should be taught to all citizens at the same level, at primarily at the same level, at especially primary school level. To do this, the teacher's authority in classroom is emphasized, and the subject matter is the center of the curriculum. The core curriculum of this philosophy, essentialism, focuses on the core subjects like math, reading, writing, and science. As teacher-centered instruction, teachers who are essentialists are the primary source of knowledge and guidance. And students are expected to learn through their direct instructions and memorization. Traditional instructional strategies as essentialists, classroom use the essentialist classroom use lectures, recitations, discussions, and written and oral communications. The traditional moral values, essentialists believe in teaching values like respect for authorities, perseverance, and considerations for others. The goals are to instill students with basic academic knowledge and skills, to promote reasoning and train the minds of the students, and to ensure the common culture for all citizens, to prepare students to be productive in teaching as citizens. And what are the criticisms against essentialists? They are criticized as lacking of considerations of individual students' needs and interest. So let's proceed to the next pedagogical philosophies, which is progressivism. Progressivism education is response to traditional methods of teachings. It is defined as educational movement which gives more value to experience rather than learning, based on experience rather than the formal learning in schools. It is based more on experiential learning that concentrates on the developmental child's talents. In other words, it is more on experiential learning based on experience. That is progressivism. We need experience for us to be socially reformed. And in the progressive as an educational movement started by John Dewey that says that students learn to their own experiences. Progressivism revolves around the student needs, including teaching students to be good citizens as well as good learners, a concept known as focusing on the whole child, the development, experiential and social development of the children, of the learners, of the students. Progressive education is a type of teaching that focuses on making learning personal and adaptable for the child. It considers their individual needs and ages to create dynamic and transformative learning experience as well. The progressive movement was turn of the century's political movement interested in the furthering social and political reform, curbing political corruptions caused by political machines, and limiting political influence of large corporations. According to John Dewey, the father of progressivism, he said that the role of the teacher is to promote students' competence, assist learners to think, and advance democratic living. As compared to the traditional education, the focus is transmission of knowledge from teacher to students through lectures and textbooks. While in progressive education, the focus is on learning by doing and experiential learning. Students are encouraged to explore and discover concepts through hands-on activities and project. And next is perennialism, part of 5 pedagogical philosophies. It is more on the things that is everlasting. In what sense? It is an educational philosophy that focus on teaching ideas that are timeless or everlasting and relevant across generations. Perennialists believe that the ideas are a universal truth that can be used to solve problems in any areas. Perennialism, the goal of perennialism, it develops students' critical thinking and reasoning skills. Teach students also to appreciate the works of great thinkers and writers. Old books Help also students develop a lifelong quest for truth. Lifelong quest for truth. And cultivate also human intellect based on timeless truth, everlasting truth, or truths. Now, the characteristics of the perennialist classroom atmosphere, the teachers are well-disciplined and closely organized. Focuses on mastery of content. Use the Socratic method to develop historically oriented understanding of concepts. And emphasizes also the humanities over vocational and technical education. It is also teacher-centered, not learner-centered. Next, we have the existentialism, pedagogical philosophies, or philosophy. Existentialism is a complex philosophical concept with significant implications in education. It emphasizes the importance of individual choice, authenticity, and personal actions and experience. And it encourages students to develop their own unique identities and take responsibility for their own learning. So they must be held accountable, responsible for their own learning. They are the ones who are responsible for their own learnings. Sorry, I started, bulol ako. Bear with me. Let us proceed. The existentialist pedagogy illuminates the core of teaching and learning as personal pursuits to find meaning, define identities, and live authentically and freely of their own choice. Existential pedagogy applies to learners of all ages and in all learning environments. Its philosophical belief of existentialist or existentialism, it's that we are responsible for creating our purpose and meaning in our lives. Our individual purpose and meaning is not given to us by governments and teachers or other authorities. Existentialist, therefore, is not a teacher-centered instructions, but rather the teachers are considered facilitator. The goal is to help students better understand who they are as individuals. This also means that students should have a choice in what they learn and that the curriculum needs to be somewhat flexible to their needs and wants, to their choices. Meaning, the curriculum is just a follower of their own choice, what they are learning as their preference. The driving force is their choice of learning, not necessarily the curriculum. Curriculum must be flexible only to their own choice of learning. as individual, I mean. That the teachers should help that students create their meaning in their lives by becoming aware of freedom of choice and choice. Individuals can mitigate their anxiety about the unknown. Again, the essentialists argue that classroom should be teacher-oriented. It must be learners-oriented. The teacher should serve as an intellectual guide and moral role model for the students. The teacher or administrators decide what is most important for the students to learn with little disregard to the students' interest. So that's it. And we are ready now to differentiate after we define these 5 pedagogical philosophies in education. What is now the difference of essentialism, progressivism, perennialism, and existentialism? Essentialism focuses on basic skills and knowledge through traditional methods. And essentialism is teacher-centered, imparting knowledge through lectures and memorization. Progressivism, in the other hand, focuses on developing students through experiential learning and problem solving. Progressivism aims also to make education relevant to students' lives and interests. This is learner-centered education. Perennialism, also teacher-centered, focuses on developing students' rational and moral powers through classical texts, old books, and Socratic dialogue. While existentialism focuses on helping students to define their own through self-directed learning and personal responsibility. This is also this is also learner-centered. Existentialism rejects the idea of universal human nature and instead encourages individuals to determine their own growth and their own truth. To determine their own truth. Sorry, I stammer because I got mad, so I want to pronounce it well, but some other words it's hard for me to pronounce it in English. Just please bear with me. The essentialism, on the other hand, this began in the 1930s and 40s. It aims to prepare students for modern life by teaching them the core curriculum of basic subjects. And lastly, existentialism. This philosophy encourages self-reflections and personal responsibility through flexible, self-paced learning. It also rejects the idea of universal nature. Universal nature means the idea that all beings are connected and that the nature of the earth is part of all existence. It can be a concept in philosophy, science, and and religion. Having said that, we have finished. We are done with the first coverage of your preliminary examinations in educational 3, in EDUC 3. And we are now ready to proceed in the next topic, which is about the intelligence, human quotients, intelligence quotients. How many human quotient we got, or we have, I mean? There are 4. They are IQ, or intelligence quotients, EQ, emotional quotient, SQ, social quotient, and AQ, adversity quotient. This should be adversity quotient. Intelligence quotient, this is in short a measure of persons or a person's reasoning ability. In other words, an IQ test is supposed to gauge how well someone can use information and logic to answer questions or make predictions. It is a tool to measure intellectual abilities and potential of every individual. They are designed to reflect a wide range of cognitive skills such as reasoning, logic, problem solving. It is a test of intelligence, something you are largely born with. Now, let us go to emotional quotient, or EQ. It is a measure of person's emotional intelligence, or their ability to understand and manage their emotions. It also refers to a person's ability to understand and respond to the emotions of others also. Not only his own emotions, but emotions also of other people around that who are surrounding him in his environment. It includes emotional quotient includes self-awareness. That is recognizing your own emotions and how they affect you. It also includes self-management, controlling impulsive feelings and behavior, and managing emotions in a healthy way or healthy ways. It also includes social awareness, understanding the emotions, needs, and concerns of others, And it also includes empathy, being able to understand and relate to others, to the feelings of others. What is the importance of emotional quotients? It can help you build stronger relationships. It can help you succeed at school and at work, or in the workplaces, working environments. It can also help you achieve your career, personal goals. And it can help you stay calm and collected under pressures. And it can help you manage awkward moments with grace. And we now go to the social quotient. It is a measure of person's ability to communicate and interact with others in an empathetic an assertive way. That is why it is called social intelligence, in other words, other than social quotient. How to measure the social quotient of every individuals. It is measured in building relationship. The ability to form and maintain friendships and other relationships. Next is social awareness. The ability to understand how others feel and empathize with them. Next is self-awareness. The ability to understand what motivates you to act, feel, and behave in a certain ways. And we have self-regulations or regulation. That is the ability to think before speaking and acting on something you have heard or you have seen. And how can social quotient be developed? You practice active listening. Be aware of what's going around you. Respect the cultures and appreciate the people in your life. Let us go to the next word of human quotient, which is adversity quotient. Adversity, by definition, is a state or instance of serious or continued difficulty or misfortune. Lunes, wala kakainin ha? Tamad ka eh. Diyos katamaran mo, wala kinakain.